the session.
This meeting is being recorded.
And we will begin once everyone's joined, but it looks like, everyone's here. So thank you for joining again. We hope to initiate discussion surrounding transfer recruitment tools. We have two excellent presenters today, and we're thankful for what they have to share. So save all your questions until the end. We'll have plenty of time for that. Amanda, if you want to progress the slide. So this presentation is being hosted by the OTC Events and Professional Development Committee. Amanda, Jessica, Kim, and Mary Beth. And if anyone would like to participate to help plan the annual OTC conference, please contact either Amanda Means or Jessica Toro, myself. All right, you can go ahead and progress. So here's our agenda. Again, everyone, welcome. We have our two presenters, Erika Miller from Franklin University and Christine Connors from Kent State, and they will each discuss the unique tool that their school offers. So moving to the next slide here. So our first presenter is Erika Miller. She is the Community College Regional Manager from Franklin University to discuss their Pathway Portal transfer tool. So I'll turn it over to Erika.
Thank you, Jessica. Good afternoon. Thank you guys for having me. I think we can go past that slide. I've established who I am, I think. We're really excited about our Pathway Portal tool, so I'm super excited to share it with you guys. Next slide. So just a little bit before we get started, I'm going to share some information on the slides, and then there'll be a video that'll show you the portal in action. But just some background on Franklin University for those of you who might not be familiar. We're a private nonprofit institution in downtown Columbus. We're kind of known for our online education and catering to working adults. Fun fact, I found out recently, Franklin actually was doing online education during dial-up, if you can imagine that. So super interesting, I think, and just shows kind of what we've been doing for a while. Last year, we launched the portal with our first school, which was Edison State. We currently have 6 schools that are utilizing the portal and 12 schools that are in the process of implementation. Next slide. So just kind of an idea of how the portal operates. A student will opt into the portal through their community college. They do this at the same time that they're working on their associate degree. It could be 1 to 2 semesters before they plan on graduating, although we've seen students opt in at the very beginning of their associate degree as well. And the idea is that they're going to continue working on their associate degree, finish that, and then start working on their bachelor's degree, utilizing the portal for those what we call bridge classes. Students at Franklin are only required to take 30 hours with Franklin. So those other classes, they can take at their community college, and the portal shows them how. Next slide. So what is the portal? Basically, it shows a student how each class at their community college transfers to Franklin without the need for an official transcript. So you're going to get an up-to-date credit transfer as well as program-to-program comparison with the idea that it's going to maximize transfer, hopefully saving a student time and money. Next slide. So the benefits, like I mentioned, it shows the best fit majors based on the coursework that a student has already completed. I think I'm probably preaching to the choir here when I say I never knew how much discussion I was going to have about majors with students. It's kind of crazy that everyone wants me to tell them what they're going to be when they grow up, and I haven't figured that out yet for myself. So, good luck, good luck. But most of the time, you guys know, a lot of those questions are related to how fast can I get done, what the classes that I'm already having, where do they fit, and that's what the portal easily shows a student. It's also going to give the student course suggestions. It's also going to give the student course suggestions at the community college that will work towards the bachelor's degree. And then when they get close to coming to Franklin, it's just 1 click to apply. Next slide. And this is the video that shows you the portal in action. This video is specific to Columbus State, just because it's the one I had, but
this video will show you how to use Franklin University's Pathway portal for Columbus State Community College. After you receive your username and password, go to pathwayportal.franklin.edu in your web browser to log in. Once you have logged in, you will be taken to the Pathway dashboard page. This screen gives some instructions on how to use the portal, your total pathway progress towards a bachelor's degree, courses you can transfer from Columbus State, your academic advisor information, and your user account information. The first step to complete in this portal is to choose your degree program. This is done by clicking Choose Bachelor's Degree in the left-hand menu. Based on your transferred credits, the system will recommend a degree program for you based on the percentage of the degree you will have already completed by transferring your credits. The system will display the programs in descending order of completion. You can select any of the programs by clicking Select on any of the displayed options. If you would like to see additional options, click Show All. To learn more about a particular degree program, click Learn More to be taken to the website regarding that degree program. Once your degree has been selected, click Bachelor's Degree Progress in the left-hand menu to track your progress and plan which courses you need to take for the next term. This page will list your overall progress towards your degree program, as well as your overall progress towards your core and major requirements at Franklin University. You can see which courses from Columbus State are providing you with credit in each category. Where applicable, you can also see which courses you could take at Columbus State to obtain additional credit in that category. As you move closer to completing your associate's degree, you'll see how your credits transferred to a bachelor's degree. You will also see how you can take additional courses beyond your associate's degree at Columbus State, capitalizing on our 3+1 partnership, saving you money and increasing your total course transfer. Please consult with your academic advisor for more information on the 3+1 partnership and to confirm the accuracy of the plan and estimate. Once you have earned 40 credit hours towards your degree at Columbus State, you can apply to Franklin University. A reminder will appear on the Pathway dashboard screen when it is time to do this. You can apply by clicking on Apply to Franklin in the left-hand menu. Once you are eligible to apply, the Submit Application button will appear at the bottom of the next screen. Simply click this button to submit your application to Franklin University. You will not need to submit any other forms. You can continue to log into this portal periodically to track your progress towards your degree and to plan your schedule for future semesters. Thanks for watching.
Thank you so much, Erica. If anyone has any questions about Franklin University's tool, feel free to put those questions in the chat, and those questions will be answered in the last half hour during our Q&A. Just make sure you're muted for the remaining half of the presentation. Now, a warm welcome to Christine Connor, Senior Advisor to Transfer Specialist, who is here to discuss Kent State University's Flash Credit Estimator. Over to you, Christine.
Thank you so much, and I really appreciate the invitation. I look forward to presenting to you this afternoon, and I very much enjoyed the previous presenter, and I can really bounce off of what was shown to you already as far as what they offer compared to what Kent State uses as our tool. So here we go.
I'm going to use the bathroom.
So what I wanted to do, this presentation is going to be very hands-on, and I'm going to really try to avoid getting in the weeds as I show you this tool. So I just want to let you know, for those who may not know what Kent State is, we're a public institution, we're a large institution, and we service many transfer students within state, community colleges, out of state. So our tool is a little more general. It's for any transfer student or even parent of CCP students that might be looking to research Kent, see how some of their credits they've already earned that would come into the university. And so I wanted to show you where you would find this, because basically, again, it is for transfer students, but it's also for professional staff at community students, and anybody that has access to the website can utilize the tool. So it's under admissions and it's under transfer students. So this is our main website with all our tabs. Down here is the Flash Credit Estimator. So that's what we named our tool. We refer to it as the FCE. And as you can see, when you first log on, there's the web page, and on the left is the login information. So if you're a student who's already created an account with us, you can simply log on and access your saved documents, your saved files. As staff here at Kent, we have a special login, so we're able to get behind the scenes and look at what students have already supplied to us. So it's a different process. But in the middle here, when you click just get started, that's for everybody. That's where all students begin, parents, staff begin. And I find this actually very simplistic and basic to navigate, which is nice for students. The other thing I do like about the manual entering of credits and having the students take lead on a lot of this is it educates them. It actually, allows them to have a better understanding of course credits, the complexities sometimes that happen with transfer advising. So they're not just asking us like, how long do I have until I graduate? They actually have a better, fuller understanding of transfer credit and curriculum. So just to start here, like I said, it's really quite basic. Over here, you're going to choose majors, and you can pick as many as you want. So what I've already done, I've already kind of created a pseudo account under my name. So I'm going to pull that up in a little bit, but I just wanted to show you more of the process here. And then I'll transition to kind of show you what it looks like. So to find your major. So I'll be honest, I picked a couple majors that were very common that tend to go together. So we're going to look at business. Business management. And believe it or not, I get a lot of computer science students that are interested in both business and computer science. So there you go. There's our two majors to the right. You'll see them listed. Now, the next step would be to list the college that you're currently in. So if the student is attending a community college or four-year institution, if they have multiple colleges, they can enter those in. But we're going to keep it basic for this presentation. And I'm going to enter Tri-C, that's a Cuyahoga Community College, and that is a college I work with all the time, so I'm really quite accustomed to their curriculum. So you can see there's the college, and then if I start plugging in courses, so they're going to look at their transcripts and they're going to look at what they've already taken, and they're going to start plugging in some courses. So again, I'm going to keep this pretty basic because I really want to show you the end result later on in this presentation. So I'm going to do like your basic Chem Core, your general education requirements with your math. Okay. Maybe a humanities course, fine arts course. Basically, a lot of the credits that are beginning transfer students are coming in with as they're completing their associates or not. It just depends on where they are in their career path. I'm going to do a computer science course, and I'll do a business course since we picked those two majors, just to give you an idea. So over here, you can see as I'm putting courses in, how with the percentages. So what I've put in, that's the percentage that's applying to their particular major that they're interested in. And then the other really nice thing is this other credits here. So if they have AP exams, CLEP, IB, and then the levels, they can also plug those credits in so they get a full estimate. And I do emphasize, even though this is based in our CRM, and it's also based on our transfer tables, and it's updated all the time, it still is an estimate, and we make sure that they understand that. Okay. So we'll go ahead and click the summary, and kind of like what was just presented, Kent State also, this particular system also will recommend other majors that students may not have thought of prior. And this way they can, if they're interested in another major, they could just click on that major, and it shows them how their credits would come into that other major as an option to consider. So again, if we want to view the details of the credit estimate, you would just click the box. And then this mirrors, the way the structure is for us, it mirrors our GPS. So it mirrors how we have our structure within Kent State once a student's admitted. So we call that our GPS. our graduate planning system, and this would mirror what it would look like. So again, I'm going to go more into detail on my saved document, just so you know. So one thing I did forget, and I promised myself I would not do that, is, let me see, I wanted to show you something that I think is very, very cool and helpful. Okay, so say, and I'm sure you run into this, a student wants to know about a course that is not on our tables yet. So if they were to be looking for a math course that we've never seen, we get this a lot with out-of-state students. What they can do is they plug in the course. It's going to tell them like there's no course that matches what you're putting in. And then what they can do, which helps us here at Kent State get that course reviewed and put on our transfer table, is all they have to do is it'll instruct them to create a profile. They click on that, and then it'll tell them how to get that course submitted for review. So it really does help our transfer credit office keep the tables updated. And at the same time, if the student's willing to do that, then it gives them the answer on how the course will apply or not apply towards their major. So I think that's a really good benefit of the way we have our structure here. So what I want to also show you now, so all the way here, summary, up here they have, these are just tools for them also to assist them when they're looking at different things here at Kent State. So that the checklist is very cool, and it also mirrors our website, but it puts it in one place for them. So they can contact one of us, make an appointment with us. We have a view book. It's very cool. They're able to like create their own view book. This would be like different resources that they're interested in. They can apply. It'll tell them how to send their transcripts in, explore scholarships. So this is a really neat thing for them, and it's all in one place. Again, it's on our website, but this is much more, it's right there, and they could just click right through it. So I'm going to go ahead and show you what this looks like now. So once a student starts a record, then it's going to ask that they create a profile, and that will create the student record in our CRM, which is extremely helpful. But I'm going to go ahead and show you what it looks like from a staff's perspective that has access. So it's going to ask me to log in. Okay, so over here, if I have a student contact me and say, hey, listen, I did the flash credit estimator. Can you take a look at what I put in, and can we meet and talk about it and see how my credits apply and all that stuff? That's what we want them to do. So I can pull that up through this prospective students. If they have pending courses, I can research that. And if I want to export the information to an Excel spreadsheet for whatever reason, I have that access too. But I just wanted to show you this real quick. So we're going to pull up our prospective student list, and I'm going to go to Mary Connors, which is my pseudonym. Actually, it's my real name, but nobody knows my name is Mary. So now I have a 3.2. I go to Cuyahoga Community College. So I get the information about the student to the left, just a real quick overview, which is nice. And then if I just want to see the courses they put in, I can click that, and it gives me a nice list of what they have inputted in the system. If they have pending courses, I can pull that up, other credits. But I want to pull up the degree completion here for you real quick. So I picked business, BBA, the business management, and the computer science. And then I just played around and put some courses in it. But again, this structure reflects our GPS at Kent State. So you have your university requirements at the top. And basically, though, I tend to start to really connect with them about the Kent core at first, because that's more relative to where they are typically, unless they have a lot of credits. And we review that. So you can see to the left our courses and how their transferred courses are listed in the middle there, how they complete those general education requirements. And typically your business courses, your major courses are next, and those are specified there. And then the additional courses for this particular degree, the BBA, you can see how they took micro and macro and how their math comes in and things like that. Now at the bottom, you don't see any outline courses. So what I'm going to show you here is with the computer science because it's more specific. Again, same structure with the major courses and additional. Oh, and the one thing I always point out is the foreign language requirement that is specific to the College of Arts and Sciences. They always ask that question, and it's a requirement for this particular major. And this here is important because courses that may apply are those courses that are coming into Kent and they're getting credit, but they're not actually applying to their major at this time. Maybe they'll always be general electives, but they may not be applying to their major. So real common with computer science, they may have taken some courses at a different institution or even in business that are not direct equivalents. Okay, so they'll never apply directly at first. What happens is, though, I explain to them that, they'll work with their advisor, and their advisor, once they're admitted, can take these courses and submit them for a substitution approval, which can really make a difference in certain students as far as how much, how their credits do come in towards a specific major. So that's another really good thing to explain to transfer students. That second review by the college is super important. So that's about it as far as my presentation, as far as kind of giving you an overview, and I'm happy to answer any questions. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thanks, Amanda. Thanks so much, Christine. So if anyone has any questions, I will open it up to the chat. And if someone has a complicated question, just let us know, and we'll let you unmute as well.
Jessica, there's one that just popped up in the chat that says, who designated or who designed the portals for each of you?
We actually purchased ours through the EAB, and that's a consulting firm specializing in education institutions. It's located in DC, and we had a committee that worked with their committee to design a portal.
We designed ours in-house with our IT people.
We have another question here, and if there's one that I'm missing, just let me know, Amanda. I see there's the who designed portals, and then 2, who at your institution collaborates, I'm assuming regarding the decision making with the tool, and then what happens if there's credit beyond the CCAP IB, for instance, bringing in credit from another 4-year. And lastly, and I can separate them as well, must all students wait until an associate degree is earned? So you can let me know if you need me to repeat those, but they're all from the same person.
I'll go ahead and start. And my director is actually in here, so I don't know if he wants to jump in on the who collaborates. I would assume I can safely say our team, our IT, and then from there, I wasn't in on those beginning discussions. So Joe Smith, if you want to jump in. As far as what happens if there's credit beyond the community college, in a pathway portal, it prompts the student to send in those transcripts, and then we have a process to add it to the portal. And students do not have to wait for the associate degree. We actually don't want them to wait for the associate degree because we want to be contacting them as they're going through that process.
Hi, Erika. Yeah, thanks. So we actually have a team of about 12 people who collaborate across our institution with counterparts at the community colleges. So it's across all academic and admissions transfer credit type folks.
Okay, so I'm going to answer the last one first. So I think the question was, do they have to have an associate's? No, since our transfer is open to any student that took one course, they'd be considered a transfer student. We work with them just to make sure they're making the best decision for themselves, especially if they're coming from 4-year into Kent State. As far as the collaboration, well, we had some meetings prior to deciding to purchase this, and then a committee was, created out of the credit office. the Senior Associate Director, Ted McCowan, who's over us here in transfer admissions. He was part of the committee. So there was a group of people that were able to contribute to what was needed for our design. And I don't know if Ted's in the meeting or not. Ted, are you with us?
I think he just joined, actually.
Ted, did you just join? Because we're having our Thanksgiving lunch today. Did he? Maybe he probably doesn't know what's going on. But anyway, he might be able to add a little more to the committee collaboration with EAB that we had set up originally. And as far as like credits go, I'm not quite sure I understand the question. What's the question about the credits coming in if there's?
So my question, first of all, thank you all so much. My question involves a student is able to plug in AB, AP, their A levels, that kind of thing, and they're able to plug in the respective community college, such as your examples of Columbus State or Tri-C.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm wondering what happens if they've been to Cleveland State or Akron or YSU. How does that get evaluated and plug into all of this?
Well, they can add their colleges if they have more than one.
Great. So it does go beyond just the simple community college that they're at.
Yes, yes.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Christine, someone asked for your CRM. Is it EAB or do you have a different CRM?
What we're using right now is Slate.
Okay.
So Christine, you mentioned something about it ties into your CRM. So EAB is a totally different software platform.
Yes.
That dialogues with the CRM.
Correct. So it ties in the sense that when a student creates a record, it downloads into our Slate, our admissions.
Perfect. Thank you so much. So then my next thing is, how much does all this cost?
I don't have the answer to that question. I don't know. Ted, are you on here or not? No, I don't.
I am.
Oh, there
I'm
you
on
are.
here. I was trying not to take over. So it's an annual contract. Hi, is that Robin from Toledo that's saying hi?
Yes.
Hi, Robin.
Hi,
So
Ted.
a couple of things about the EAB platform. It only works if you are a degree work school. So if you are DARS, it probably would not work because of your platform, but it's an annual contract, and it's an add-on to our overall EAB contract. So I'm actually not sure what the total cost is, but it's pretty affordable in terms of a product.
This is really helpful. Thank you so much, Ted.
I just had a follow-up question kind of in the same vein. Does the system have its own administrator on campus, and do they live in IT or do they live in admissions, like the administrator for the system?
Christine, you're smiling at me. So hi, everyone. So there's an administrator at Kent State that's like an IT person, but EAB has a whole team of people who are going to set it up for you based on the software that, how it needs to integrate. There's a whole integration team of IT folks from EAB. And then there are content managers and there are like IT administrators at Kent State. So I'm actually one of the content managers. There's a couple of us depending on what the content is, but.
I had some additional questions, some notes, just in case, since there is a little bit more time here in the webinar, if there's not more questions trickling in, and again, feel free to put more questions in here. But for both platforms, what was your experience with the implementation, with realistic deadlines, working with, people within the campus, and obviously with the tool? What was that like for you, and what advice might you give people that are looking at tools for their institution?
Well, I mean, I can, from my perspective, and again, Ted was more involved with the overall implementation. So feel free to add in, Ted, but I think, we actually, I think it went fairly quickly. I mean, it's a lot to implement because you're creating that structure, and you have to have a lot of people in agreement. So we started this in the spring, and again, it's not perfect yet. We run across things that need corrected. We have to communicate that to Ted, and Ted will take it from there and communicate it with IT that works with EAB. So I mean, there's always problem solving along the way. So I hope that helps give you some idea. Ted, do you have anything to add?
It is kind of complex because you're basically bringing over, every curriculum rule for every program. You can limit which programs that you show, though, within the transfer portal. So you wouldn't have to show all of your programs. Kent State, where, there's 9 different locations throughout Northeast Ohio. So, and some of our programs are specific to a campus different than the Kent campus. So there were some challenges in trying to implement the program, but as Christine said, it went pretty well. We ended up having some challenges, but the implementation was pretty good. EAB was a good company to work with to implement the product.
And I'm going to defer to Joe because I've only done one school so far with our portal.
Yeah, so in terms of like the speed and so forth, it really depends on the bandwidth of the IT department at the collaborating school. So smaller schools might only have one person at their institution that's dealing with, in our case, colleague. Is DegreeWorks the same as colleague? I don't know what that is. Are they different Ellucian products or the same? No one knows. It's okay.
It's a different one.
Okay.
So DegreeWorks, I believe, is a different type of degree audit. And so like, I'm Mary from Columbus State. We do a degree audit through College Source. And I believe DegreeWorks is through an entirely different company, not Ellucian. Like degree audit isn't even through Ellucian. So we don't use the Ellucian degree audit. So it's complicated.
Yeah. The Ellucian to Ellucian products is easier than across products. I'll just put it that way. And obviously, if they only have one person at the community college, it takes a lot longer than if they have a team on the IT side for collaboration purposes.
I had a question. Whenever you did your launch, what was the initial student response? Did students start using it right away? Did you have to kind of advertise and change some behavior? Or was it really filling a need that had been there?
Well, for us, go ahead.
Go ahead, Christine.
For us here at Kent State, yeah, that was a need. Obviously, it was something that students had been asking for a very long time. However, I mean, we put it on our webpage. We did a lot. And Ted, again, you can help me out with this because again, you were more implementing everything. We did some communications, automated communications with our students. As individual recruitment managers, myself and Jonathan Gates, we reached out to our community colleges. We did presentations and let them know this was a new tool that we were implementing, which they were happy about because they could also use it and tell their students. So I think we definitely have seen an uptick in students using it. Would you not agree, Ted?
Yeah, I would say, in the transfer world, we always struggle with those top of funnel activities. And so that, on the first year side, there's name buys you can do, right? And when you get to the transfer side, those name buys that you can have, a lot of times you've got CCP students that are filtered in with that. And so your name buy isn't as robust on the first year side. This is a way that you can do lead generation activity in the top of the funnel. And it's not going to be hundreds, it's not going to be thousands, but they're definitely hand raisers, qualified leads that are telling you, I am definitely interested in your institution. I'm looking at how my credits fit in your program.
Yeah, it depends on the size of the institution. Obviously, a Clark or an Edison might have fewer students buying in, but they're also a smaller school. A Columbus State, a Tri-C, those places would have more students. So you'll see a volume reflective of the institution from which they're transferring.
I would add somewhat to Ted's point. For our portal, personally, one of the reasons I'm excited about it is because these are all the questions that you get from students all day long. What's the best major? What can I take at the community college? How long is it going to take me? What are my next steps? What's nice about the portal is it answers all those questions. Not that we don't want to, not that we don't want to answer them, but it adds validity to what you're already saying. It provides a clear path for them. It's in writing. Sometimes if it's not in writing, they don't believe it. So that's one of the things that I think personally is so powerful about our portal.
And so nice after hours, right? And with staffing issues, it lets people kind of self-service. Okay, thank you so much.
Another question too, how many tools did you shop for before you landed on this one?
I believe we were at a presentation with EAB and they presented this option to us. Ted, were there any other tools we were looking at?
So there's not a lot of tools like this out there. So we pretty much looked at all the different options there were available. So even if there were ways to kind of expand transferology and some of the things that transferology would do, but we pretty much, we kind of went to the conferences, we went to the vendors in the conferences, found out what products were out there, vetted those products, and went through the process. And what we found was the EAB transfer portal was a product that that did what we wanted it to do, which is actually take specific credits and apply them to specific degree programs at Kent State and show the student for that specific scenario their time to degree completion. And that's what we were trying to accomplish. And that's what we were able to do with that product.
And in our case, we built it from the ground up. So, we looked at prices probably 5-7 years ago, some things, and we've been working on building it since then, once they said the prices were out of our range. So.
Thank you. And how long have you had these tools, and have you started collecting feedback to maybe make improvements, or then again, like, what has your feedback look like?
We started, I know Misty, we started, I believe in the spring, we started using the tool. And I know we had plans on sending out a survey, and I know we even talked about the different questions we wanted to provide, but I'm not exactly sure if that's gone out yet because we wanted to wait a little time for students to actually use the tool and give us some feedback. Am I correct, Ted, as far as the survey goes?
Yes, that's accurate.
Okay, thank you.
And our Our portal, like I said, launched in 2021, so we're not even at a year yet. And obviously, since it's school specific, there's some challenges and kind of having a uniform opinion on it. But I'm sure we'll be working on, surveys and revisions based on those answers and that kind of thing.
I just want to say thank you so much. This has been incredibly helpful.
Yes,
Probably I would
and
take last call for questions, Jessica, you think?
I was just about to say, yeah, if anyone, and if there is a question that I missed, feel free to just copy paste it back at the bottom. I just realized I found myself at the bottom of the chat here. And Amanda, if you want, we can progress the slide actually.
Yeah.
One more slide here. So since we're kind of at the end here, again, if you have last minute questions, since we do have a little bit of time left, I can always jump back to that real quick. But I do want to take the opportunity to thank our presenters for presenting their tools, providing information, and just being available for questions. Thank you all who took the time to join and participate. And I'd like to thank the awesome work that my colleagues have done on the OTC Events and Professional Development Committee to make this webinar happen. This presentation and the slides will be available on our website and emailed out at a later date. And since we've actually had a lot of people attend today. So if you're considering other tools or technology that you would like to share or might be valuable or any information, just let us know and we can consider maybe even a part 2, or we'll just consider other information that we can try to send out and get the word out among our transfer
Jessica, I think
community
we had
here.
one more question pop up. Misty had a question.
Beautiful. Go ahead.
Well, first of all, I just wanted to say such a huge thank you to my Kent State people, Chris and Ted and Jonathan, for everything that they do working with students with this portal. They really have kind of made it come alive, but everybody kind of keeps asking, well, how long did it take to do this? And I just wanted to kind of address the fact that I think the reason why it's very difficult to specify the exact timeline is because we literally began seeing examples and presentations of this like right at the beginning of quarantine, and we had like a shift from one VP to another VP. One VP basically went ahead and like the day they left said, here you go, I bought this for you. And then the next VP was like, okay, now I got to do this. And it was just, there were all these transitions and position things going on and changing of hands from one person to another. And meanwhile, trying to coordinate, through a quarantine and through technical things and everything that we all know that higher ed was doing in the last 2 years. And so it's very difficult to put an exact timeline on something to give another school a good impression of how long it took to implement. But I would have to say from like a technical standpoint, I felt that the implementation of the EAB portal was relatively quick, mainly because they did the most efficient way possible to try and get all of the validation done and getting all of the data coordinated well together, and a lot of very good online coordination using like online boxes and online storage to keep documents together and make sure the entire team was coordinating together with common documents and charts and flows and everything, which is such a new world from 5 years ago when everybody was still sitting in a conference room and going over meetings once a month in person and then following up later. So I feel like it's very difficult to put an exact timeline on that. But I think in the new world that we're in, if whoever you're working with isn't using a lot of those online tools for coordination of your team, then I think that's something that you need to consider, because it really does speed up the timeline when it comes to implementation. But I know our particular portal went live in May. And I think the very first time that we started officially gathering together a committee about this was the previous May. So which is a very short timeline to try to get something together for any kind of system implementation in higher education. So I just wanted to give that feedback to let you guys know. I know it was kind of one of those like, well, how long does it take? And it's kind of like, you know, so it's not because it took a long time. It's just because trying to put a timeline on anything that has happened in the last 3 years, I think is really difficult to do with higher education at this point. So I just wanted to contribute that for anybody else who is like investigating which, you know, what kind of product that you want to go with. I think that's a big consideration to take. So.
Thank you very much, Misty.
Okay, well, that is all we have. Again, presentation and slides will be available on our website and emailed out. Anyone want to continue the conversation about technology that you'd like to share, or things that might be valuable, just let us know. And our contacts can be found on the OTC webpage. So we look forward to hearing from you and hope you enjoyed the webinar. Thanks, Amanda.
Thank you. Thanks, committee, and thanks everybody for joining.